So then I guess that leads me into the next question then is, how do you determine what will be a piece that people will buy? Like, do you go out specifically to shoot for pieces that people will buy, or do you just kind of know what people will buy?
This is a really good question, and it has some catches to it. You shouldn't go out and shoot just because you know someone will buy it. And that goes two ways, like because people will buy photos from Arches National Park because it's an American, from there. If they're from America, then it's an American icon, right? But if you go there, you should shoot it in your own style, right? And then you should attach the story to it that aligns with who you are and why people like your work. So that's part one. But when I shoot with an idea. And I have this idea of a composition. So most of my work looks like this. And I know my camera's doing this a bokeh thing, but most of my work has this thematic approach where it's very minimal, and there's like one subject, and that fits into the why of why I create art. And it also lends itself to people who buy, because when people are buying art for their home, the art needs to have balance. And this is why an awesome photograph doesn't make an awesome piece of art. Because you can take an epic scene of, I don't know, like a storm on one side and then sun on the other. And it's just this really crazy moment in nature that's amazing. But nobody's going to put it in, very few people, especially when they're buying work at a higher price, are going to put it in the wall because it's not balanced. That's going to make half their room seem dark and half their room seem overly bright. Or it's going to make half the room seem heavy and the other half feel like there's not enough there. So I feel that when people are looking for art, whether they know it or not, they want something that will add space to their home, because art is a window to another world. That's quite literal. It adds a dimension to a space. That's one of my selling points too in art fairs. Big art makes small places seem bigger, but that's a tangent. But they're looking for something that is going to add space, but also keep the room balanced. So a lot of my work you'll see is very center weighted. It's very balanced in terms of lights and darks, and it's also the subject matter is usually towards the center. And that means I don't do very well on social media because it's not an epic storm, right?
Right.
Like my piece Solitude does like okay every time I post it, and I'll repost it over and over because it's got to see eyes in order to sell. But I've sold like 30 of them.
Wow.
And my average sale is $3,000. My average actual sale is $7,000, but my average piece is $3,000. I always sell like 2 pieces to my collectors. So yeah, there's a mix of how or what you shoot. I can't win in the likes world. I just can't. But I'm doing Basel, and I'm going to sell out of Solitude in December, and I already know it. So that one piece Solitude is going to pay for my entire show.
That's wild. That's wild.
Epic photos don't sell in the high-end market. In people who are putting cohesive rooms together, So it depends on where you want to and who your target market is for who you're going to sell it to. A person who appreciates photography and cool stories, like the actual event being the story, then they're going to like it, right? But someone who is looking to add a statement piece to their home that they identify with and that they are able to share a piece of them, that the work mirrors a piece of themselves, because that's what's happening when you share stories. People learn to like you as an artist, and then they like your art because it mirrors a piece of them. And then they can buy it and identify it, and they can invest a fair amount of money into it, whatever a lot of money is to them, right? Because we're talking about different market segments. They can see that as a valuable investment because of the meaning that they can attach to it.
So then do you have like personal work that is stuff that's really like only you centric, and then work that is going to be more something that you will print and sell?
Yeah, I do. Like like some of my girlfriend just walked in and out. Some pictures that I have of her, I think are really, they're very good photos, but I'm never going to put them up, right? And there's also like I have a favorite photo of art from Arches National Park that I took, that I was taking with Ali. Like we spent the whole day like just picnicking and looked at it across, but it doesn't have enough. The quality's not there. Like I was shooting with a, like we were talking earlier, a 24-70, so I couldn't get as close as I wanted to that arch. I think it's delicate arch, but I was shooting it from across the way, from across that space. And epic sunset, epic light, super yellow, deep yellow orange, but I won't put it up. And it's not that I don't think, I just don't think the quality is there. So I'm really strict on what I put. Like if you guys go to my website, there is, I think, 120 pictures, 120 pieces that are in my portfolio for sale. But I only do, I mean, I've been photographing for 10 years. So only 100 of my pictures are for sale. And I'm always coloring. Like I'm going to go do a website update because there's some things I want to change in terms of the way I talk about the marketing. And I know that I'm probably going to pull down another 10 images. So
10 per year is a pretty good average, I think. 10 good portfolio images per year, I'd say is pretty good.
Yeah, more recently, I only do like 3 or 4 tops.
Which sounds crazy to a lot of people. They're like, what? There's only 3 pieces you consider your portfolio pieces?
Well, here's the thing about being your own business is taking photos doesn't make any money. I can go take photos all day. It's not going to make me any money. The only thing that makes money is selling them. So I'm going to focus on what is the best of the best. So I'm going to focus on what fits into my story and what's going to fit into my aesthetic. That will also be something that I can sell and something that other people will like.
That's awesome. So what you just watched was a snippet from an interview that I did with Jason Matias. If you're interested in seeing more from this interview, go ahead and click this playlist right here. If you're interested in the art of selling art, Jason's flagship education for teaching artists how to sell their work, go ahead and click here. And I would also encourage you to consider subscribing to myself and Jason Matias. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.